Alright folks, this is a quick video here, and it's going to be my thoughts on the whole situation with YouTubers that are covering someone like, V-Man, aka Vaush, whatever. Um, Personally, I could talk about him because I have a smaller channel, so I don't think I'm going to influence, I mostly know my audience who are there, so I don't think on a personal level, I don't think I'm gonna like reach that much people. So that way, I avoid him living rent free in my head because I have a small channel. It's not gonna permeate that much. But this is more so personal for myself and how I feel about it. Now, for me, I personally don't really give a shit none the way about the guy. He said some really dumb shit. Same for Hasan Piker and the other big YouTube channels. There's just a bunch of moronic shit going on, and I don't care about that crowd that much. For me, it's like, well, I'm doing a lot of stuff locally. You know, um, I will say this to people. Um, Vosh is a problem in a more existential sense, but I also think it's because some people are online too much, as many people have said, and I also think people aren't being living in the real world as presented, right? Um, Because my personal issue with him is that, first off, of course, the whole land back thing was just complete bullshit. It was total garbage. So I don't need to bring that up again. They're going after black nationalists, not understanding. Even though people in the black community have gone after these people before, um, there's a brother on the YouTube channel that I follow who I disagree with him on certain aspects, particularly on S work, but he did a great video on black nationalism, which is the most, not the certain type of black nationalism, not the overall concept of black nationalism. And I've already said this before. Vash and his ilk, the issue with them is that they were conflating, when they talk about black nationalism, they were conflating the Ankh right slash black patriarchal, Umar Johnsons of the world. They were conflating way too much of those guys with black nationalism in general as a whole. And that was the issue. They were conflating those people. And it was very obvious. I mean, I'm watching the video and him making these dumbass claims. And I already knew from the fact, I'm like, yeah, he's conflating dudes like Umar Johnson and these other, Hotep dudes. He's conflating those people with broadly speaking black nationalism as a whole, which that's not what it was, right? So it's under. I'm not really defending him at all, to be honest. I really don't give a shit about him, but I could see where his audience, fell for that shit, because they thought when they were talking to black nationalists, their mind is assuming someone like Louis Farrakhan, the Nation of Islam, the new Black Panther Party. That's why it's called the new Black Panther Party. It's not the old one, the leftist socialist one. These new Black Panthers, people like Malik Shabazz and them. I'm not gonna get into that. These guys are straight bums to me, but I really don't care. You know, or no, the Hebrew Israelites. These. It's kind of weird how you would conflate those two, but it's like, if you don't know anything about the community, then don't say anything about it, right? So a couple days ago, Vosh started making videos about Umar Johnson, which was fucking annoying to me because it was just like, bro, people knew about Umar Johnson. Like, everyone knows this guy was a clown. People in the black community knew this dude was a moron. Okay? So I don't understand like why you're acting like this is somehow new. People don't know about Umar Johnson. We know about him. And we've clowned his ass many, many times. This is not new information. or Tariq Nasheed in them. Like these cats, like we know about them. We know that people make fun of them. There are people who do parody videos on YouTube within black spaces that make fun of those men. It's just a very common. They make fun of them because they know that they're ridiculous and ridiculous. I said ridiculous twice. But yeah, they know that, these dudes are completely like bonkers. So it's like, when he said that, I look at these guys, I'm just shaking my head like, dude, this is not new. And some of the takes he's had lately have just been just bizarre and just like, this is a little dumb. This is a little bit dumb, right? Especially when people, I'll give an example. Every time you bring up anti-Semitism, because maybe this is what people were thinking when they said, hey man, Vaush is saying that, there were Jews in the thing. And it's like, guys, we're not talking about the Rothschilds here, okay? Because usually that's where it goes to. That family is always brought up for some reason. So that's not what we're talking about. Okay, we're not talking about that. Okay. And I saw the debate with non-compete and all that. And listen, personally, I'm happy that he ended the debate quickly. He realized, whoa, we're having a weird discussion. I'm out, and that's the best course of action that you have to do. The discourse goes one way, you're like, oh, what the fuck? And then you just bounce. You're like, whoa, you talking about You know what? You're talking about Jewish bank? Listen, we're not doing this. Bye. We're not doing this, right? And the whole Jews and banking, I'm not going to get into that historical framework because it's absurd. Because it's like, well, the banking, they control it. And it's like, what about the Medicis, though? They were Italians. I don't know. It's just weird. It's like we're going to specifically choose Jewish people for being bankers. I mean, it's just odd to me. It doesn't make sense. And it's basically anti-Semitism because, everyone. I mean, there are people that did banking professions that weren't Jewish. What the fuck? Anyhow, I'm not going to go into anti-Semitic claims made by people because that's whatever. But yeah, I mean, it got to the point where he was making this argument about the Weimar Germany and the amount of Jews there. And I'm like, what the fuck is what? It just was weird. I'm like, first off, bro, you got the whole history of the Weimar Republic just kind of a little off. Well, I had this thing like, sorry, the thing was like covering the thing. But yeah, he had the whole history of the Weimar Republic just completely just out of the loop. It just made no fucking sense. I was just like, what? And then, I mean, it's, so I think the issue people have is that, he is a bigger channel and he seems to be influencing a lot of people. I see it as an issue, but I understand how some people are also saying, don't focus on him, don't give him attention, and we should have more pressing issues. Now, I agree with that. I do agree with that to an extent. But, maybe because I'm an old head YouTuber, but I've been in YouTube for a while. But, in terms of people like him and various others, they are small fry compared to other big issues. It is true. I don't see, Vaush is not, he's a small fry guy. He shouldn't be that much of our concern. What should be concerned, which is many years ago, which people didn't catch, was online YouTube, was we didn't catch the rise of the alt-right online as quickly as we could have. But that falls more to a different sort of community. That's a whole different thing. But I think, it was what can you say? It was the 2010s. It was the late 2000s. Not a lot of people were paying attention, right? So, a lot of things were happening. But apart from that, are Destiny and Vaush that important in the grand scheme of things? They're not. Hasan, not really. Um, I think we should focus more on pressing issues of actual things that are happening, tangible, or local things happening within our community. I mean, I'm kind of dealing with what's happening in New York City right now with Eric Adams, who's the current mayor. Everyone, I'm telling folks to be vigilant because this dude is probably going to want to bring back broken windows again. Whether it's in a stealth way or not, we don't know. But it's very much likely they are trying to sort of reinstate themselves in that sense. So I'm keeping an eye on that. But people like those people to me are more big fry people you got to deal with, right? The Eric Adams of the world. The I think that guy's more important to deal with, especially affecting local New Yorkers in Manhattan, than you know someone like. I mean, the NYPD is a more bigger threat than Vaush guys. It's just the reality, right? In fact, the New York City Police Union is, but that's a whole nother conversation. But yeah, I think certain people are not that much of a concern, and I think there are certain big channels that these sort of drama stuff it becomes a waste of time, and people are missing the big picture. Okay, they start missing the big picture of what we're actually trying to do here, and personally, I don't think the person is of concern at this point. Even if, the person has shit takes, they made dumbass takes, or other things that they've said, which they create drama, and their fans become sycophants. I mean, his fans start attacking people. And I keep telling these people, I'm sitting there thinking to myself, Vaush hasn't made a single video, if I remember correctly, going into detail of what's happening in um, Algeria, right? He hasn't had any video discussing what's been going on in Haiti. Not that much. The video in Haiti that he did wasn't bad. It just was lacking in general information. So, at the grand scheme of things, these people, I just don't feel like they're important. Um, I don't want to call names and say that these people are clout chasing, but it does feel like that sometimes. It does feel like that, and there are more pressing things we have to deal with than this, and that's why for me, I'm like, you know what? I'll make videos like this for you guys, but behind the scenes, I'm making sure that I'm keeping a close eye at our new mayor of New York City, and kind of hampering him home because I feel like that dude's just wolf of sheep's clothing, and from my personal opinion, since he's a former police chief, it made me think like, yep, this guy's trying to reinstate broken windows again, but even if it's in the more stealth way possible, and the police union have no problem with him. The police union actually really liked the guy, so that kind of made it hint and be like, yep, we're gonna have a problem. But yeah, that's all I have to say on the matter with Vaush and things. Not that much to say. Not that much to say. The guy's not really that important to me. He's a very small fry type of guy. There's more pressing issues we have to deal with, and I think we shouldn't waste our time discussing every drama that he does. He is a problem in terms of influencing of people, because we are doing, this is about influential capital at this point. But all I say is that, maybe you can say that his people, breed ignorance, especially with that whole discourse on land back and everything that happened. But I think people should just move on and just not live rent free with this guy talking on a personal level. I just don't think so. So I'll just leave it there, folks. And hopefully everyone has a nice day. And yeah, that's sort of my whole thought on the whole situation about this person. Because personally, I just really don't give a fuck. I got more important things to deal with in my area than what's happening currently on the internet. Um, I just don't. Yeah, I like looking at it just to be informed of what's happening on the world, and having solidarity where I can globally, because I am an internationalist. But also look around and be like, yeah, there's some stuff going on in my local stuff too. That I got to deal with. So anyhow, folks, y'all have a nice day.